I want us to go out to Coral Gables, Miami, not just because it's beautiful all year round, but because Miami is a massively interesting team in 2024 for a number of reasons we'll dive into right now. But first things first, make sure you're subscribed right here. Miami fans, y'all been good to us now. Y'all been very good to us. Have a lot of y'all that have joined the show in the better part of the last few months, so thank you for that. If you're new to the show, you're a Miami fan, or you're just a college football sicko, welcome. Open arms, big bear hug, you're home. It's college football, nothing but college football. The way that you want to talk about college football, the way that you want to discuss college football all year round. So subscribe here, follow me on the socials at JD Piquel, and we appreciate y'all for doing so. So what does Vegas say about Miami when it comes to their win total? The suits out in Vegas have them at over under 9.5 wins preseason. The suits also, with that win total, have them as the third best odds to win the ACC. They got Florida State and Clemson ahead of them. So Vegas is here saying, yeah, we think you're going to be pretty good. Think you're going to be just fine, because the first year under Mario Cristobal, 5-7. Next year it went 7-5. Knee away from being 8-4, but I digress. With Cam Ward being added to the fold now, we see y'all being a team that can flirt with and maybe achieve 10 wins. Now, the Cam Ward impact is massive in Vegas. It's also massive for us when we look at the actual football. This is kind of the headline season, talking season, social media season. Went back yesterday and watched the Washington State-Oregon State game. Tell you what, man, if you got some free time, you're looking for another full game rerun to watch, that's one I would recommend, because Cam Ward, dude, I mean, he was dealing the pill like a shady pharmacist, as we like to say on this show. If you have a quarterback, we've said it already on this live show, you got a chance. And the more I see from Cam Ward, the more impressed I am. And he's super accurate with the football. Like, that jumps off the stat sheet. 66% completion percentage is what Cam Ward is bringing you every Saturday. That's solid. That's more. I mean, you will take that every single day of the week and twice on Saturday. However, when you watch Cam Ward throw the football, it's not just the fact that he goes the right place and he goes there on time when he's throwing the ball. It's the spot he puts the football in. Like, he is consistently putting the ball on the correct shoulder, on the correct part of the body for his wide receiver, not just to make the catch, but to also do something with it after the catch. And Shannon Dawson's offense is built on going horizontal and then going vertical. Horizontal in the sense that we're going screen game, we're going bubble game, we are attacking you on the perimeter. Now notice, we can't do anything on the perimeter if I got to stop and catch the ball and turn around and slow my momentum and I have to reach for the ball and jump for it. Like Cam Ward, I'm telling you, it's consistently on the money. Catch it, upfield shoulder, we're getting north and south. That's going to benefit this offense. That marries perfectly with what Shannon Dawson wants to do. So he wants to attack you horizontal, does Shannon Dawson, the OC in Coral Gables, but then he wants to attack you vertical. JD, can Cam Ward do that? Oh, you better believe it. 25 touchdown passes last year from Cam Ward per PFF. 10 of those 25 touchdown passes were classified as deep ball throws. So, yeah, my guy's dialed in when it comes to stretching the ball deep as well. Also, you got weapons now, because if you don't have weapons for Cam Ward to throw the rock to, then what are we talking about? You just have somebody that has a great arm, is throwing the football to the sideline. It's incomplete. You got Xavier Restrepo. He's a vet. You know what he is. He's an alpha dog. You got Sam Brown from Houston, who is a burner, who's a big pickup in them or for them through the portal. Damian Martinez is going to keep defenses honest to where you can't just key on the pass, and if you do, you're going to pay for it, because Damian Martinez is a 2,000-yard back coming from the Pac-12. Another reason to watch that Oregon State, Washington State rerun. And then JoJo Trader is a young buck wide receiver, but talking to folks out there at Miami, they feel really excited about his progress and what he's going to be for them this season. So bottom line, you got a lot of pieces. You got a quarterback. There's a ton with Miami on the roster to love. One thing that I think Miami fans love even more, though, or as much rather, the trend of Miami since Mario Cristobal has gotten there is nothing short of phenomenal. Like, it's kind of been in the shadows and it's been behind the punchline of, oh, y'all hyped up Miami again and they went 5-7. You hyped up Miami again, they went 7-5. But notice now, year one, not great. It is what it is. Year two, 7-5. Year three, what are they going to be? And that's the win-loss total, which I think is quite honestly even more deceiving than what they're actually doing on the field, because total defense for Miami went from 64th to 24th. Offensively, they went from 85th to 25th nationally. And that's with the squad that upgrades at quarterback. They had a revolving door at quarterback, and they went up 60 spots nationally. They bring back 66% production from last year's team. They bring back their OC and their DC, so there's continuity in what they're doing. And the year 3 roster is exciting because you got Francis Mawanoa, who's a dog on the offensive line. You got Ruben Bain, who just eats quarterbacks for breakfast. You kept Simeon Barrow, which was massive. But I think outside of a year 3 roster, what excites me if I'm a Miami fan, and it's tough to really quantify, is the year 3 culture. We talk about culture a lot on this show. You hear culture talked about a lot on other shows. When I talk about culture and the importance of it being in year 3, it should be a defined way of doing things and standards with how we live, with how we practice, with how we keep our locker room, with how we interact with each other, with things we do and don't say on the field, with body language. All of those things are solidified and defined, and they're from a top-down level at first. It's coaching staff led and then player fed. Maybe I got that mixed up. Bottom line, the coaching staff brings it to the players, and the players have a choice now. Do we want to embrace that? We're going to buy into that? Or are we going to just kind of be fragmented, have bad attitudes, and go our own way and have our own way of doing things? To me, now in year 3, that standard, that culture is solidified, and I think it goes from being a steward to an owner of a culture. And the best comp for me here is like when you rent a car, you treat that car very differently than if you own the car. Like if you rent a car, hey, you parked in a illegal parking spot. If you get it towed, it's a bummer. You still have to pay it, but like it matters a lot less than if you owned that car and you get it towed. Hey, maybe I'm not going to get my rental car washed while I have it. If I own the car, though, I'm washing it probably every couple of weeks. I'm making sure that thing is staying in good condition. Why? Because it matters to me, because I own it, because it's mine. The culture now belongs to the players in Coral Gables, I believe. And that's going to make a big difference when you get on the field on Saturdays. Now, you get to the schedule, you open at Florida. It's going to be tough. Florida State, going to be tough. Outside of that, the sneaky games are Virginia Tech. They are, I believe, the number 1 ranked team in returning production in all of college football. You're at Louisville. That's always a tricky one. But overall, like if Miami were to go 9-3, that's a 2-win improvement. It's the best record you've had since Mario Cristobal got there. That is a massive disappointment. It'd be great for a lot of places. A lot of places would kill to go 9-3. Miami goes 9-3, they're like, man, what a missed opportunity. I think anything less than 10-2 is disappointing. Why? Because the roster is good enough, as we've discussed. You got a quarterback who you don't have for another year after this year. Cam Ward is there for a good time and not a long time. He's there for this year and this year only. All right? It would mean that you, more than likely, if you had a worse record than 10-2, fell flat on your face in games that you, quite frankly, were the better team. Because I look at this roster, I look at the schedule, and I'm like, listen, I only see 2 games where there will be a similar level of roster talent. And the Florida game is one that you probably even could chalk up to like, hey, that's just going to be a tough, crazy environment. It's going to be Cam Ward's first game in a Miami uniform. We'll predict that game when it gets here. I'm not calling my shot right now. But like you're still a little bit unsure as to what's going on in that game. 10-2, though, should, in my opinion, get you into the ACC title game. And I think you win the ACC, you're in the college football playoff. Like, that goes without saying. So this is the trampoline year for Miami. The trampoline year in the sense that if you hit it correctly, you have the record you want, Cam Ward does the right things for you, and it looks a certain way, that can catapult you into more sustained success on the recruiting trail. Because do not hear me incorrectly. Do not get it twisted. Mario Cristobal is going to recruit. He's a dog on the recruiting trail. Miami, in my opinion, will always add talent at a high level. You've seen that so far with his last 2 classes, both in the top 10. But if they have proof of concept, if they're a college football playoff team, you don't have to pitch nearly as hard what Miami's going to be. You're pitching what they are right now. Do you want to come be a part of it? I'm telling you, if you lock down the state of Florida, we talk about it a lot on this show. If you become the team of choice in the state of Florida, and you can be the top choice for a lot of those recruits, there's a reason why the NFL likes the state of Florida. A lot of talent there, especially at the high school level. A lot of talent. In last year's draft alone, there were 30, not 13, 30 players from the Sunshine State that were drafted in last year's NFL draft. So, yeah, if you win the Sunshine State from an optics level and you win at the recruiting level, that's going to translate to more wins on the field. So, win total I'd be content with if I'm Miami. 10-2 is asking a lot, but quite frankly, this is the year where you want to do it and it has to happen. And if you go 11-1, even better, but 10-2 is the bare minimum for being happy, being content, and having success in 2024 for Mario Cristobal and the Canes. Hey y'all, thanks so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel here to make sure you don't miss an episode of The Hard Count. Also be sure to check out other videos on the On3 YouTube channel.